Hey guys, welcome back to Sunny's Dash of Flames. Today I'm going to be cooking lasagna, so I'm so excited. It's gonna look super yummy like the one on this box, hopefully. I'm going to make it the traditional way with the ground beef, lots of cheese, noodles, all that good stuff, and sauce. So actually behind me I have the water boiling now, so I can add the noodles and cook those first, because I want to use this pot for my actual sauce mixture and everything. So I'm going to start working on the ground beef now, and then I'm going to have the noodles going. So let's get started. All right guys, so this is all of my ingredients. I have some diced red onions that's gonna go into the pasta sauce, tomato paste, fresh tomatoes, some Italian seasoning, onion powder, some parsley flake, garlic powder of course, salt, some sugar, some vinegar, chopped chives, some minced garlic, little water because the sauce needs to be on the thinner side. I got portobello mushroom and wine red sauce for the pasta sauce. So I'm gonna start cooking the chopped meat. I'm gonna turn the heat on around medium high, and I'm gonna go ahead and add in my noodles. You can see this pan over here has a steam going, full steam ahead. And I have the wavy sheets. There are lasagna that's just like a straight sheet, but I have the wavy traditional ones. And I'm gonna go ahead and put them in. And this I'm just gonna cook like till it's al dente. So I'm just going to cook these for 8 minutes in the pot. So now with this pan, I'm just gonna add a little olive oil and add my ground beef. So I just have a pound of ground beef, and I'm gonna add this in here. And with this, you're just gonna wanna cook it until it is brown, well done. And while it's still cooking, I'm gonna go ahead and add some seasonings to this meat. So I have some garlic powder, gonna spread some over the top, and all this seasoning you can add to taste or leave some stuff out if you don't want to use them. So this is some onion powder. I'm gonna add some diced onions to it as well once it gets a little bit more browner. I have some parsley flakes, some chopped chives. You can use fresh parsley and fresh chives as well, but I'm using the old ones in the container, regular old ones. I have some minced garlic I'm going to throw in there, say about a teaspoon's worth. I'm also going to add just a teaspoon of salt because we'll have some cheese in there that's going to have salt in it as well. My ricotta mixture, I may add salt to that too, so we don't want to add too much salt to everything. Gonna cook this a little bit more and then add some onions in there. And it looks like my pasta is almost done cooking. Also gonna add some pepper. Don't want to forget the pepper. Okay, so that is my timer for the noodles. So these are the noodles. They're looking good. I'm just gonna run some cold water over them just so that they don't stick together. So it's very important to do that. So I've got them in the sink here. And spray some cold water. This will keep the noodles from sticking, so you can put them in nice layers on your pasta for the lasagna. Alright, so now I'm just going to add some chopped onions and pepper to this mixture. Pepper-wise, you can go for a few teaspoons, a tablespoon, depending on how much pepper you would like. definitely want to make sure I have a decent amount in there. And then I'm going to add, so I have 8 tablespoons of onions in here right now. I'll be adding more onions throughout while I'm making the sauce mixture. So this is good just for a start. I'm just gonna turn my heat down so I can give the onions some time to cook, because the meat is basically where I want it to be. Okay guys, so now this meat looks done. It looks really good. So I'm just gonna go ahead and change the pot. I want one big enough where I can add all my sauces and everything. So I'm going to switch to this bigger silver one. Put that on the heat. And I'm just gonna add a little butter. Just a tablespoon of butter to the pot. Just to get it going. Make sure nothing sticks or anything. Okay, so that is in there. Now I'm going to add my portobello mushroom and wine pasta sauce. If you live near Publix, you can find this one. This is Publix premium brand. And I'm gonna add the second, just around half of the second pasta sauce. Okay, and then I'm just gonna mix it in. And then I'm going to add 2 cans of tomato paste. So this is 6-ounce can of tomato paste, pretty small. So here's the first can. And then my second can gonna get added. Okay, so I have the 2 cans of paste in there, and I'm just going to stir. And the heat right now is on like 4, so a little bit under medium. Just want it on low heat so I can take the time to add all of my ingredients. Don't want it to cook too fast. Now I'm going to add some Italian seasoning. I would say a good, maybe like tablespoon. Gonna go ahead and again and add some parsley flakes to this. Add around a teaspoon to a tablespoon. Add some chives again. And then I'm going to add some pepper. Here you can add to taste as well, teaspoon to a tablespoon. I'm gonna add more along the lines of a tablespoon. Then I'm going to add a tablespoon of vinegar. This is white distilled White House vinegar. So you can use vinegar or lemon juice, something acidic to add a cool little punch to it. So I'm just gonna add a tablespoon. And then I'm gonna add a tablespoon of garlic, chopped garlic as well. Then my little measuring spoon here. And then we're gonna go back and add some more onions. So I'm going to add 6 more tablespoons of onions. Not sure what that equals cup wise, you know, if it was like a 1/4 cup or something, but whatever 6 tablespoons equals, if it's easier for you to just measure it out in like a cup size, it could be like 1/2 cup or so of onions. Now this is what the mixture's looking like so far. Now I'm going to add some sugar to the mix as well. This is gonna add a really good flavor, sweetness to cut out some of the acidity from all these tomatoes. So I'm gonna add 3 tablespoons of sugar. And now I'm going to add in a can of crushed tomatoes. I have a 28-ounce can of crushed tomatoes. And this is more of like a thinner sauce. I'm just gonna pour that in. It's looking really good. And you wanna make sure that this sauce is thin, because you don't want it to be thick. You want it to be thin so it can kind of cook with the noodles and everything. So I'm gonna add some water to this as well. But before I do that, it's important to add some salt. So I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of salt. This is a half a teaspoon here and another half a teaspoon. So I'm gonna let this sit and simmer for a good 20 minutes or so. And while I'm doing that, I'm gonna go ahead and make the ricotta mixture. Okay, so now I'm going to make this ricotta mixture. I'm going to add a 32-ounce container of ricotta cheese. This one's made with whole milk, but they do have a couple other options if you want to use a lighter version. So I'm going to put this whole thing in. And I also have some Parmesan cheese and some mozzarella cheese. Some of this will be going into the mixture and some of it will be used as a topping for the lasagna and also to sprinkle in between the layers as well. I'm gonna use a cup of this Parmesan cheese now and a cup of mozzarella cheese. And you're just gonna stir it up. And it is supposed to be more of like a thicker paste spread, so it's not gonna get like super thin or anything like a sauce, but you just wanna mix it up to make sure it's all the cheese is even throughout. And then I'm going to add some heavy cream to this as well. So I have 1 cup of heavy cream. This is really gonna bring out a richer flavor because heavy cream has a lot of yummy fat in it. This is gonna make it taste really good. And I'm just gonna stir. Kind of hard to stir at first because it's so chunky. It's gonna smoothen out. Okay, so you can see it's still a good spreadable texture. And it's got cheese bits in it. So now I'm gonna add some more parsley and chives. Give it some color and some additional flavor. About anywhere from a teaspoon to a tablespoon of these spices as well. And then I'm going to add the rest of this onion container. Basically 8 tablespoons of onions will be the remainder of what I'm adding to this mixture. And these are raw onions, but while it's in the oven, these are gonna cook down really nicely and add a lot of flavor. And of course, we have to add some garlic to it, so I'm gonna add 1 tablespoon of chopped minced garlic. And I'm not gonna add salt to this mixture because I don't want it to overall be too salty. And there's cheese in this, so this is gonna kind of provide some extra salt anyway. So we have salt in the pasta mix and salt on our ground beef, so that'll be all. I'm just gonna add some pepper to this ricotta mixture now. Alright guys, so it just finished simmering for 20 minutes. And I have my ricotta mixture here. I have a cooking pan. You can use a cooking tin pan or a glass pan, whichever you prefer. I have my noodles over here to use for the layering. And some Parmesan and mozzarella cheese. I think I have 1 more bag in the fridge. Another full bag of mozzarella. Okay. So now all I'm gonna do with this pasta sauce before I start adding in the layers is adding some water to it just to make it more on the thinner side. So I have a bottle of water. You can use any type of water you'd like. And I'm just gonna add it to the mixture until it thins it out, just so it's more of like a liquid sort of watery-ish texture. It's kind of thick right now. All right, so I just added 1 full 16-ounce bottle of spring water to this pasta mixture to get it more on a thinner texture. So this is good. It's just got the meat chunks and it's definitely on the thinner side, which is what you want. So now for the fun part, we get to layer. So you always want to make sure that you put the meat on the bottom so that is the first layer. Okay, so I brought it a little bit closer so you guys can see the whole process. So I'm going to add a layer of meat just along the bottom. can see it's very thin and it spreads nice and evenly. And now I'm gonna add the pasta noodles to it. And you see, because you put it in cold water, they just break apart easily. And then you can just place them in the pan. And I'm just layering mine straight across. And these noodles are gonna cook down even more once they're in the oven. Okay, and now I'm going to add some ricotta to that top there and just spread it over. This is a little bit of an easier spread because I added the heavy cream. So definitely recommend you guys doing that just so it's not so hard to get it to spread across. Then I'm going to add a layer of meat on top of this. And then I'm going to add some cheese, mixture of Parmesan cheese and also mozzarella. And now I'm going to add another layer of noodles. And some more ricotta. And now I'm going to add some meat sauce over that. And then some more mozzarella and Parmesan cheese. And this will be all that I can fit in for this one. And there is a lot left, so you guys will definitely have enough to make 2 pans if you would like. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that so I don't waste all of these noodles. I found an extra bag of cheese in the fridge, just a tiny bit. I think the one that I used to make the quiche, so I'm gonna put even more cheese and use this up. All right, guys, so this is the finished product before you would put it in the oven. So it's really good to have it to where it doesn't burn like over the top. So I'm gonna cover this for 25 minutes. And then for the remainder 25 minutes, I'm going to have it uncovered. So this is gonna be in the oven, well, anywhere from 55 minutes to an hour, around there. So I have some aluminum foil here. And you're gonna preheat your oven to 375. So I just set my timer for 25 minutes to let me know when to take off the aluminum foil. So I will catch you guys in a bit. I'm just gonna wait for it to cook and then we'll see the final results. I'll be back, guys. Okay, guys, so I just took it out of the oven and this is what it looks like. So it's looking really good. I'm going to cut into it and try a bite. Okay guys, so this is a finished product. I'm just gonna let it sit for about 20-30 minutes before I cut into it, and then I'm going to try this. It looks really good. Okay guys, so I just took a good chunk or a good piece out of the lasagna and now I'm gonna try it. And it's like super cheesy. You can see all of the oozing cheese. And then the top part is crusted. You can hear crusted pretty well. So I'm going to try. Looks really good. This is so good, you guys. And all that cheese on the top and everything really makes it come together well. because it's caramelized over, so it has a good strong flavor. The ricotta has good flavor as well, and a good soft crunch from the onions. Good tomato chunks in there. Okay, I was just like finished eating for like 5 minutes. I was just taking so many more bites than I had planned. This is really good, you guys. The cheese is so good. Good little crunch from the onions. Definitely recommend you guys trying out this recipe. Definitely let me know how you guys like it, because this tastes so good. And I have enough to make, you know, even another pan. So I'll do that probably later on. I just need to buy some more cheese because I ran out of cheese. But so thank you guys so much for watching Sunny's Dash of Flames, and please subscribe and like the video, and I will have more videos up for you guys soon.